Hello, welcome to G-Spot. Going to do a quick video review of the Nikon D3000. I'm shooting with a D50-100 with a 35mm f1.8 lens set to f22. So hopefully everything's in focus, because I've got the focusing switched off so you don't hear that horrible focusing noise. I've got a little lamp on as well, 500-watt lamp, because it's a bit dull in here today. Okay, so why am I doing a review of the D3000? Quite an old camera. Well, I got fed up with people telling me that the D3000 was just a beginner's camera, and people saying, "Oh, I'm gonna trade one in for a better camera," and blah blah blah, and all this. So I had a look into it because my girlfriend's got the Lumix FZ38, and when shooting with me with my D50-100, she found the FZ38 a bit sluggish, not very good low light performance. Fantastic video, great zoom range on it, and you do get some lovely pictures, can't grumble, but the speed of it and the low light performance, as I say, not too good. We haven't decided whether we're going to keep it or not. Might even just keep it for the video capability, to be honest, because it is fantastic. The image stabilisation on that is, in my opinion, second to none. So the D3000, no video, 10 megapixels, 3 frames per second shooting, lots of beginner's guides and God knows what on it. Is it any good as a standalone digital SLR? Well, in my opinion, yes it is. I mean, let's take into account size, weight, features, cost, compared to the Lumix, the 30-100, the 50-100, the D5000, etc. This camera was second hand. I bought it for £185. It's in absolutely mint condition. There's not a single mark on it, and there's actually no signs, even on the grip whatsoever, that there's been any use. The guy who bought it had a D90 and this was his backup camera. He said he'd used it for about 100 shots and no more. I've not checked, but I see no reason to. Absolutely mint condition camera, body only, £185, come with a charger, the battery and all the paperwork, no box. And I thought that was an absolute bargain. Pair that together with my favoured 18-70 AFS lens, no VR, but then you don't need it on an 18-70 lens with no video. So 185, it's still going for around £100, between sort of 90 and 120 these lenses, so we'll say 100 quid. So less than 300 quid gets you this little combo. Now in my opinion that is fantastic value for money, but is the camera any good? Well, yes it is. 10 megapixels doesn't sound a lot, you know. What's the D800 got? 36 megapixels or something ridiculous? Well, so what? 10 megapixels is absolutely fine. My girlfriend doesn't print many pictures. She does canvases from them. She shows pictures on her iPad, and she may print up to 10x8s maybe. So 10 megapixels is plenty for that, and you get some lovely detailed images. Setup wise, I've set the camera up to vivid mode. It just gives you richer, more contrasty pictures on the Nikon. White balance auto, ISO I've put it onto the function button so she can manually alter that. Continuous shooting, autofocus in auto mode, so it switches between single and continuous and does a pretty good job. Matrix metering and multi-point autofocus, and I think it's got 11 autofocus points, and that seems to work quite well for her. Not had any problems so far. So all in all, pretty good. The low light performance I think is pretty good. I mean, this is where the digital SLRs are really moving on now. You know, the low light performance. This has got an ISO capability of 100 to 1600, and then your high one, which in my opinion is unusable. The 1600 is okay, but I've sort of said to her to limit it to between 100 and 800, and it's absolutely fine. She uses it mainly in aperture priority mode, maybe in program auto, but pretty much in aperture mode most of the time. You've got this guide stuff if you're into all that. Yeah, it's got good for beginners, and it says if you're shooting something that's fast moving, it's automatically going to switch the camera into sports mode. All brilliant. I mean, if you couldn't work that out yourself, well, I don't know. It's got a little sporty man on there. If you've got something that's fast moving, stick it on sports mode on there. Don't go into this guide thing. I mean, if you're an absolute beginner, I suppose it may be good, but you know, that's not why I'm reviewing the camera as an absolute beginner. My girlfriend's been using film SLRs, digital SLRs before. She's used like the Lumix. You know, she knows her way around the camera. She's not an absolute beginner, and so isn't going to use any of that. So as I say, mainly in aperture priority. Speed wise, hasn't had any real problems with it. The burst mode, she tends to take 2 pictures at a time of something that's moving. She's not you know, a hold down and just keep going until you fill the memory card up. I mean, it'll only take a burst of, you know, maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 photos before it has to buffer itself and sort itself out. So, you know, it's no good if you want to just sit there and hold the shutter button down and motor drive. It's not, you know, any good for that. But in everyday use, for just taking, you know, we go down the zoo, take pictures of animals, bang bang, no problem whatsoever with the speed of it. So we like that. What else is there to say about it? Well, I've put a little lens cover on it, you know, screen cover. Got that off Amazon for $7.99 just to protect the LCD. It comes with an attachment that fits up here, so it's on quite nicely. And it's got everything you need, but for so little money. I mean, I think $185 for that body is an absolute steal. The pop-up flash works reasonably well at short range. You know, you're going to get some decent fill-in light if you need it. You know, but as it is, a standalone camera, I think it's absolutely fantastic. Great value for money. And you know, I can't see that we're going to lose much money on that. When she decides if she wants to move up to maybe a D50-100 when I eventually get the D7000, you know, we're still going to get pretty good money for that, I think, as long as we look after it. Lens wise, I've ordered a 55-200 VR lens because she didn't want anything as big as my Sigma 2.8, although she does use that now and again. And I've used that 55-200, and whilst yeah, it's not an f2.8, the VR compensates a little bit for it, and you know, you can get some pretty good shots with that. It's got the 18-70, which is actually my lens, but she's using it at the moment, and also we've got the 35mm 1.8. So between us, you know, we've got plenty of lenses, and should get some pretty decent shots. I've already got some decent shots. If you want to look at my Flickr page, it's I think if you search Acrowat, ACROWOT, you'll find my Flickr page, and there's shots on there from the D50-100, my iPhone, the D3000, mostly zoo shots really, because we both like shooting animals. That didn't come out right. We both like taking pictures of animals. We're dead against shooting animals. Anyway, so there it is, the Nikon D3000, not just a beginner's camera. You know, if you want a decent SLR, you're not worried about video, I think that's a fantastic way to go for not a lot of money. Cheers, bye.